everyone else during the week that has donated to the fundraiser. We greatly appreciate you. So, we definitely, appreciate you for that. We greatly appreciate you. Thank you very much. It's definitely going into good ground for sure. And we want to say we already hitting the ground running with a lot of this already. Getting some things in motion. Let me go back to my other little screen here and make sure I can just see y'all comments as it come up. But with that being said, thank you. So when I was, just looking at these two stories, well, we got to pull up somebody real quick. I had to get this. This is how I was feeling when I saw these two stories.
I'm so sick of these people. Oh,
that's kind of how I felt. I felt that when I seen these two stories. And let me go to the first one, then I'll get to the live stream from last week, then I'll get to the next one, right? So let's see here. This is the main one that got on my nerves. This one here. When I seen that photo, I posted this on Instagram, and this was all over the media, and the crazy part about it, you thought that we would have a different response to maybe this, but unfortunately, how some of us are, we gonna sit up here and give every excuse in the world for white mommy and daddy on some of the things that they're doing. So what ended up happening with this situation, let me get to my other screen here. Where are we at? All right, here we go. Where we at, y'all? Where we at? What am I looking for? All right, cool. All right, so they say an American traveler, was shocked to discover a fellow airplane passenger texting a friend to say she had the virus. They say, but boarded the flight home anyway. So they say the unhappy traveler was sitting behind the, COVID positive passenger and noticed the text she was sending through the crack between the seats. So they said the woman had typed out on her iPhone that he said that is she and at least one other person she was flying with knew that she had the virus, but decided to catch an early flight home rather than quarantine. Let me stop there for now. For me, I was very upset when I read that. Very, very, very upset when I read that. All during this freaking pandemic, it's been the same cast of characters doing the exact same thing. And I was like, what is wrong with these people? Why are they so hard-headed? Listen, the people tell you just stay your behind at home. It's not just you out here. It's other people. It's children that ride those planes as well. But do you know that some people, of course, got pissed off when they saw that. But then, some people actually was defending the woman that knowingly got on the plane. Knowingly. It's not like that she didn't know. She knowingly got on the plane with the virus, and there were people that was actually mad at the other woman behind her for snapping the picture of her saying she had the virus. I say, are we living in the freaking Twilight Zone? Oh, that's where we at now as a society? We have done the worst of the worst in the whole world in our response to that. Based off of the numbers, based off the deaths, etc. You got all these people out here talking that shouldn't be talking. You got people saying all kind of things that they don't. Man, it's just amazing to me. And I was sitting here thinking about that one day. I said, I wish we all had the same energy to everything that they try to put into us, per se. Like, if you really look at the food packaging and look at the things that's actually going into us, what we actually putting in our mouths. So that's where a lot of it's coming from. The environment, what they're letting in the environment. It's a whole lot of things they're doing to our water, the pollution of our water. You know, I mean, it's so many different things, but yeah, everybody got the energy for one thing. Well, I say keep that same energy for all of it. I mean, we should have clean water, clean air, and we should have food that's chemical and dye free and preservative free, all of that. Why aren't we keeping that same energy for that same organization, the FDA? They allow chemicals that they use to make plastic in a lot of the fast food. And yet people are going over there and not talking about, I'm not putting nothing foreign matter, things like that in my body. It's just what I'm saying. I say we need to keep the energy all over the place. Why aren't we doing that? Just as a people, just focusing on that. Why don't we tell these people don't be putting no pesticides on our fruits and vegetables? Because that's chemicals as well that's going into our body. We shouldn't have that. That's not safe for anybody. Now continuing, they say she was in mid-text, hovering over the keyboard as she messaged someone who appears to be named Jamie or James. Continue this. And as you heard before, we said we have COVID. She said the woman had typed and said that's why we are returning home a day early on the plane. They said the person who posted the image was clearly upset about what they discovered and said though they did not indicate that they notified a flight attendant. They said several commenters on the post were equally horrified that the woman would knowingly expose others to the virus. One person said super. They said the F word. Said people who know they have the virus that don't take precautions to keep other people safe from it. It said one person said, yo, they say F that lady. Another person said, another one said F that lady. It said expose her to the flight attendant. It said see something, say something. Then another one said that's when you say loudly to her, wait, you have, the virus, and let others around her know, watch her squirm. And I say other commenters, however, were more concerned that the person that exposed her put out her message, called the person a weirdo and a hole. Yes, this is what people are saying about the person that was exposing. And even and another reason I'm making this stream is because even on my Instagram, when I just kind of talked about it just briefly, they had people kind of alluding to that. We talking about black folks now. You got black folks that was even mad that this person. You had black folks to say, well, how do you know that the thing is real? It could be fake. Somebody could just be putting it out there to separate people. I'm like this. I'm putting my head down and saying, oh my God. I say it's 85%. I said this before, 85%. 85%. I've said that, and I keep saying that. And it's just like I say, once again, Stephen A. Smith.
I'm so sick of these people. Oh!
That's how I keep feeling with this situation. It's just seriously. And the reason why we put the title of what we're saying, because a lot of you follow them people. So just because they don't want to do something, I think that's good. Maybe I should do the same thing. So I said today, what's going to end up happening? And I hope it happens. Now I saw this story. And I know from personal experience, because I enacted this at our own, my own event that I had last month, when it was our 10-year anniversary. No one wore a mask at my event. No one, not a single person wore a mask. I think Brother Sharif, because he wanted to wear one. But my requirement was, I didn't care if you had a jab or not, didn't care. You had to have a test, not a rapid test. You had to have a PCR test. Now, Minister Farrakhan said that when it comes to this thing, we need to consult our doctors. We need to consult our healthcare workers. Okay. This was the minister said before we do anything with that. So this is what I chose to do. I said, let me consult our doctors. Let me consult our healthcare workers and other people that I know personally that's going to give me the real. And all of them had a consensus and said, if you have that event, you have an event with 100 people or more, you need to enforce testing. And so when we planned that event, we said everyone needs to be tested, PCR test. Some people, definitely push back for it. I got the jab. It don't matter if you got it. we need you to have a PCR test. And some people decided, well, they didn't want to go. You know, definitely, you know, I'm not going to call a name, but definitely one person in particular that, you know, let me leave that alone. But this person decided, didn't want making a big deal about a freaking test, okay? Little children have taken that test. Little children. But guess what ended up happening after that event? Not one person came down with the virus. Not one. From my event. Just like when you go on an international flight, that's a requirement. No matter what country you go to, everybody has to take a test. And if you pop on that test, you're not going. It's just that simple. To come back into the U.S., you got to take a test. So if people going to be doing things like what we saw in this freaking picture here, then I'm all for them enforcing testing. I'm not for them saying you need the jab, because that doesn't matter at this point. The testing is what matters. Seriously, that's what matters, the testing. Because these people are hard-headed. And she's not the only one that did that. I saw another video where you had a nurse that saw somebody at the mall after they just tested them and they was positive of that virus. You get what I'm saying? Like, why are you at the mall? Go home. Stay at your house. What is so hard about that? And then the freaking CDC ain't no better either, because they sit up here telling people, well, you know, you can just go for 5 days and then you can go back to work or whatever. Do y'all really know why they did that? The 5-day deal? It wasn't a science thing. Well, this was what happening. When people was quarantining for 10 days and 14 days, people was hitting their companies up for short-term disability. Okay? And if they're out 7 days or more, then they have to pay it. Well, since they shortened it to 5 days, right? Now the corporations don't have to pay you short-term disability. Oh, yes. The CDC is political, just like all the rest of them. It had nothing to do with no freaking science. Even Trump's guy, the one that just Jerome, what's his name? Jerome, I forgot the guy's last name. He was talking about, what are they doing? He said they need to be out at least a minimum of 10 days. But no, these corporations got Jim Crow Joe in them to shorten it to 5, because they say they missing their employees. Well, because people are still coming back and they saying they don't even have the test to come back to work. So now you got people coming back to work that's still infected. And then they spreading it all over the place. And this is why you have all these mass call-offs right now. This is why you have all these freaking airlines, you know, not having workers or whatever. Like they said, literally, it's going to shut down a lot of stuff in the country as it keep going on, because people keep going out and still have the virus. And I'm saying, what in the hell is going on with this country? What is wrong with y'all? I'm not about to go nowhere. I know that I'm not, you know what I'm saying? No. I mean, I'll take some personal responsibility. And you corporations that want these employees back to work in 5 days. Okay, they come back to work. Then they spread it to everybody else at the job. So now it's going to be more people gone. I mean, like, what's wrong with y'all? But see, I know how y'all are in this country when it comes to money. You don't care about nobody. You don't care about nobody's health. You don't care about nobody's well-being. You don't care about nothing. All you want is the money. Well, let me tell you something, you idiot corporations. If people aren't there, then they can't work. So that when they can't work, they can't make you money. You understand that? So wouldn't it be better to be safe and say, let's do it the right way so we don't have all our employees out? I mean, that's what a smart businessman or businesswoman would do. Or am I the only one that figured that out? Am I the only one? These people, if you look into the history, and this is why I get upset with our brothers and sisters, when you follow in their lead. For years, these people, man, where's my screen at? have been sitting up here spreading things. Ever since you look at we talking about American history, ever since they hit the shores of America, they have been spreading the disease. In Europe, they did not used to believe in bathing. And you see that today they still talking about not bathing, okay? So that's a cultural thing. When you do something from the 1500s all the way up to now, that's cultural at that point. There was some of them, well, a lot of them, they wouldn't take bath. They believed changing your underwear and changing your clothes and changing your linens and stuff on your bed, that was being clean. And oral hygiene, no. This is why a lot of their teeth will fall out, and they would sit up here and get the slaves' teeth extracted from them and put into their mouths because they nasty mouth they didn't brush their teeth like that. They didn't believe in oral hygiene. If you look at a lot of them slave movies that was out there, notice if you go back and watch them again, all of them were dirty looking. If you go back and look, now in Africa, we was always taking baths. Always. We believe in cleanliness. We will put water, even in Egypt, they had big baths, scented oils they'll put in the water and bathe the Moors. Big time. The Moors taught them that water won't hurt them. Do you know King Louis XIV only took a bath 3 times in his life? Go look it up. I ain't lying about this. 3 times in his freaking life. We talking about before they came here. In Europe, they didn't have, septic systems and things like that, or a better way to handle that. So they would literally defecate in buckets and just throw it out the window. Imagine a whole neighborhood of people. Everybody's doing that. So then when they finally did, get in contact with Africans, and then they came, got in contact with the Native Americans and everything like that, which the Native Americans was definitely, they bathed in the rivers and things like that. Native Americans had chewed mint and things like that to keep their teeth clean. They believed in cleanliness, right? And then these people came over here and brought everything known to man here. Even when you look at tuberculosis, certain diseases was not in the African continent until they came there and brought it with them. We talking about history here. They don't respond well and handle things well when it comes to that based on history. So when I see black folks trying to follow the lead of those people, when we had our doctors and our scientists weighed in on this already, and then you wonder why some of you getting caught up with that too. I'm having silly people, even coming to my page on Instagram saying silly things like we said that it didn't exist or something like that. We have never said that. That was a freaking lie. We have never said that. And I said, man, the next one can say something like that, I'm going to block you because I've never said that. I have people, I told you, that I talk to that's doctors in our community, nurses in our community. And I asked them the ins and outs of everything, and I wanted to know. And even so when I interviewed Dr. Chi back in April, this is April 2020, on this, let me run this short clip of Dr. Chi when I asked her that question, and watch her face when I had asked her this silly question with some people saying that at that time period. Comment section would say, well, this thing is this, and I want to ask you this question straight up. You working with it. Is the coronavirus a hoax?
I don't even want to entertain that question.
Well, no, I'm asking you seriously because you're a medical doctor. You get to see it, so I'm asking you a question. I'm asking because this is what people are saying is ridiculous. But I know I'm asking you a ridiculous question, but I'm asking you seriously. Is it a hoax?
If it's a hoax, then you tell those families who lost their loved ones, the 40,000 people in America, just America, who have died. I need them to ask them that question and say, did they die of a hoax? Because then that's
okay.
What about?
All right, so I just wanted to remind y'all about that short clip that people, and why is somebody, hold on. Okay, I don't know why somebody blocking somebody, but like I said, if I catch somebody blocking something that shouldn't be blocking, I'm gonna get rid of you too. Hold on, let me scroll down, look at something. So, and now rest assured, yes, it's touching our community, but it's definitely touching them a lot more. This is why they're getting so frantic about it. Because trust me, if we were the majority of people that was passing away from that, they wouldn't be frantic about crap. They wouldn't be pushing no mandates on nobody. They wouldn't be doing anything like that. Okay. So it is affecting them because they don't listen. Because when you saw that picture about them getting on the plane, knowing they got it, I tell people, look, boy, y'all lucky I'm not in charge of nothing, because I'll come up with a law to send you behind to jail. If you know you got that thing, you know. I'm not saying you didn't know, but if you know you got it and you getting on a plane, you getting on a bus, you getting on somewhere, there's a bunch of people, and you know you got it, your behind need to go to jail. Like, see, I think in the Philippines right now, they telling them, you leave the house if you want to. You going to jail. It's that bad because people don't listen. Now, you tell black folks to go to jail. Nah, man, I'm good. I ain't going nowhere. Look, I see one video, and I'm not saying to go this far, out of China. They had like about a few cases, and they locked down the whole city of Xi'an. They locked the whole city down. And if you ain't got no food, tough cookie. It's on you. Now, that's bad. That's actually real bad. And they're like, you got to depend on food delivery. You may get some food, you may not. This one cat tried to leave the house. Man, them COVID patrol people they got in China, they went to kicking butt. I'm like, man, the dude was trying to get some bread. I'm like, come on, don't whip the man. He trying to get some bread. But that's how serious they are. Now, I'm not saying go that far to kick butt, but I'm like, come on, man. That's why I'm saying they're so hard-headed. And what I don't like about the system in America is you have a federal system, but then you have these states. And, well, the states' rights, and the states can do this, and the states can do that. You would never be on one accord if you always allow the states to do whatever the hell they want to do. Some things some states have done, are like, okay, that's cool. But then when do we say, okay, it's a little too far now. We kind of got to do something, right? You know, like I live here in Texas, so I can talk about it. There's no mask mandate here in Texas. Nobody's wearing no mask at all, okay? I wear mine. I wear mine because, like I said, I have to protect my family members, right? And I just know that I can't trust people when you got people out here that's full of the virus. So I wear mine all the time. If I go, work out, I do wherever I go, I have my mask on. I have a brother that I know. He has 6 people, in like 2 months' time die of the virus. I was freaked out when he was one by one they were dying. Out in Mississippi. Someone else that was on my team told me about another person that died. A lot of black folks are, and the thing is, I always ask the black people that get it, where were you? What were you doing? 9 times out of 10, they didn't have a mask on, and they was somewhere that was crowded. I think my videographer told me he went a place that was crowded, but he kept his mask on. He said that every person that was at this crowded spot where he went to had got the virus, but he didn't get it because he said he had his mask on. But there are people saying, I don't believe in that. I believe I'm a die. I guess you think you're going to pass away breathing my own air. I'm like, it's your air. I'm like, you think your air, if your own air, is that toxic to you? If it's that toxic, then you need to see, you got another problem going on. If poison is coming out of you to that point, it's not like they have surgeons that wear that thing for 12 hours. You you get out your car, go do what you're going to do, get back, even how I do it when I'm outside, I don't have it on. When I go inside, like they say a store, I put it on, do what I got to do. The moment I get outside the store, I take it off. That's what I do. I don't see what's so hard about it, but like I said, hard head, like you say, make a soft behind. Hard head definitely make a soft behind. Now, there's another thing that I need to address before we get to the next story. But this story is kind of funny, but it's messed up. But it's still related to the virus with these folks, right? Hold on a quick second, y'all. Give me a quick second. Give me a quick second. Hey. What was that outside? Boy, they had a cat outside. No, so sometimes family don't know I'm streaming, so I was like, hey, TV, you know how that goes, right? But yeah, I just heard a crazy cat outside just now. I'm like, what's going on with that cat? Like, man, get y'all cats. I think I just did a big Karen video about a Karen was pissed off about a cat getting in her yard. Lord, it was so funny. But anyway, let me get to the next thing. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. I'm glad you mentioned that just now. Even if you took the jab, you still need to wear a mask. What's happening with those people that they take the jab and say, well, they still got it. I'm gonna tell you what they do. They get it and they're like, oh shoot, man, I got it. I'm good now. And then they go out there with no mask on, no nothing, and then they still get it. And they're like, well, I took it. And I still got it. And then you start asking questions. And every single time I've asked a person that question, they said the exact same thing. No different than a person that didn't take it versus they take it. It's not going to prevent you from not getting it. So you need to freaking wear the mask. It's not that hard. I wore a mask when I went to Turkey that time. I rode on a plane thing almost 12 hours with a mask on. Yes, and you're not going to take that mask off either, except to eat and drink, but you're going to keep that mask on when you're on the plane. I'm just telling you things to protect your own health. I mean, it's your health, but my issue is stop going around people if you know you got that virus. Now, the next thing I need to talk about here is the video that I made with Sister Juan about the Prime Minister of Ethiopia. And I think I thoroughly explained my position and explained why I was saying what I was saying in that video, right? I know I did that, and I brought Sister Wangel on because I wanted to make sure, that's exactly what he was saying, because Wangel speaks the language, and just her opinion on it, just based off of growing up over there and how people think, etc., right? Well, some people in our community, some of them get these right-wing talking points, and they start saying things about victim mentality and all of that. And when I hear them saying victim mentality, notice that they don't really bring up anything historic or even current history as to why Black people are saying that. And when I hear them right-wing talking points from a Black person, it annoys me so much. And the only thing I can think of when they do that is just this song. This is all I can think of.
I want a biscuit. I need it right now. I want a biscuit. Oh, let me tell you how.
That's the only thing I think about. They want some freaking biscuits. I mean, who are you impressing by talking about a victim mentality? Black people are constantly victimized, but because of people like that, it's so slow. They mentally slow, and I understand that. But because I have a kind heart to probably help those in our community who doesn't make sense to be that slow. Okay, the Prime Minister spoke about Black people and spoke about white, and make sure I have emphasized white Jews. So let me see if I can make it so simplistic for you that you just can't argue it. But usually when you're that slow, you probably will anyway. So you have two women. One would be a Black woman. The other one would be a Jewish person. Both women have suffered a assault. You know what I mean by that? It was a horrible thing for both women, right? They tried their best to get through that. So the Jewish woman, she got some therapy. She decided, you know what? This has helped me. I want to make something better of myself and try to move forward in my life, right? So this Jewish woman, she starts to move forward in her life. You know, people felt sorry for her, you know, what happened to her. So they start assisting her in, you know, her movements, what she's doing. You know, she ended up getting later married. She started creating a business. She ended up becoming like extremely like rich. She became rich. Even though she had that assault that happened to her a long time ago, she worked through it. She got past it, and now she's doing better than before. Even though she understood what happened to her in the past, she can look forward and get past it because of just her progress, right? Now, let's say if you have a black woman and the same thing happened to the black woman do the same thing as the Jewish woman, right? So she's trying to, you know, get through it or whatever. So as she's working on doing the exact same thing as say it's a Jewish woman would do, then what happens is another assault happens to this black woman. Okay. That's even worse to her the second time than it was the first time. So then this happens to her. She's still trying to get past it. She's doing more therapy, still trying to keep going. Then she goes down the line, another assault happens again. And then the same thing. Then later down the line, another assault happens again. And every so often, these assaults keep happening to this woman to the point that now she's fearful of people, men in particular. She has nightmares all the time about those assaults. She don't know if she's coming or going. She can't really be productive because it has literally paralyzed her life in a lot of ways. She tries to get past it, but it just still, you know, the nightmares of it keeps coming back because it happened over and over and over and over and over again. So if you meet that woman and she's still dealing with that trauma, it would be hard for her to get past it because she had lived it so much and so often, right? Well, that is the story of black people in America. Black people, after slavery, built towns, built, you know, institutions after slavery we're talking about here, okay? We're talking about documented American history. And what happened? Every time black people build something up, here come the white supremacists to destroy it. Okay? That has not happened to the Jewish community. Every time the Jewish community have built something, they have not had nobody bomb their stuff from the air. They haven't had no mobs. They haven't had none of that happen to them here. Now, how could black Americans move forward if we haven't had reparations? The Jewish community had reparations, still getting it from Germany, and America gives them money all the time. The state of Israel. Prior to 1946, it was Palestine. America helped put those people there and fund those people militarily with our tax dollars. Okay? There was no Israel prior to 1946. We haven't had the American government giving us billions of dollars a year, every single year to this day, to be made whole. We haven't had that. You know, and I say even in recent times, where is the Jewish equivalent of George Floyd? Where are they? Where's that equivalent of Sandra Bland, Rakia Boyd? Where is that? Eric Garner, where's that equivalent? So when we're trying to get past something, we're constantly reminded and we're constantly victimized by a system that stays on our necks constantly. They're not doing that to nobody else. They're doing it to us. So to have an old coon ideology, to say victim mentality, it lets you know you got just some coon ideology. And then this is what they like to say. This is another thing they like to say, because this is their favorite talking point. Well, look at me. I did this and I did that. So what is that supposed to mean? Maybe, thank God, it didn't happen to you, but it's happened to others. And we are a collective of people. I don't know why I have to explain it to people that's so, because you got some people that especially they call themselves right wingers. This is why I could not be a right winger. And I'm not a left winger either. I can't be a part of the Republican Party because they want me to deny what they do to my people, left wing or right wing, number one. Number two, I'm not going to deny the obvious. And having that old Morgan Freeman, well, if we just stop talking about racism, it'll go away. It won't go away because you got a culture of people. That's all they have to live by. That's who they are. And yes, we're going to talk about those issues and problems here. We're going to do that. If you're going to try to attempt to respond with factual things. Not saying you should just do some positive things. Why don't you do it? I keep saying that. And the reason why you don't do it, those of you that say those things, right? The reason why you don't do it because you can't get no headway out of it. And the fact is, you can't argue with any kind of facts when it comes to discrimination. Look, black sounding names don't get callbacks for jobs. They didn't say Jewish sounding names. Okay. Since you want to compare those two. I recently put up a story, I think tomorrow or so, on the African Diaspora News Insider channel that talks about how even people with black sounding names don't even get responses in emails. Emails. Black people aren't given home loans like definitely white folks. Black people are discriminated against when it comes to assessing your home for its worth. People have to sue because of that. Just did a podcast about Airbnb. Had to pay out a settlement to 3 black women because of the people discriminating against black people who trying to secure Airbnb. That doesn't happen to that other community. And even that other community you're talking about, they remember what happened to them. They always say never forget. And if anybody say something negative about it, they riding down on you. So how is that forward thinking? What are you talking about? We cannot move forward until black people are made whole. And the thing is, we are moving forward. We have moved forward, even economically moved forward. A whole lot of areas we have moved forward since the 1960s. I admit that. Factually. In some instances, we haven't because this system purposely tried to hold down black men and black women. So if you coming up with this victim mentality coon message, then I know good and well you have no clue about black people at all. It don't matter what I do. I'm one person. It's about what the collective do. You can make $100 million. You're still not going to rise no higher than your people. That's bottom line. Sure, you can separate yourself from your people. You could. But it's just not going to work. The prime minister and what he was saying was completely in error, ignorant of history. The same black Americans that he was talking about were in lined up to go help fight in Ethiopia to make sure the Italians didn't overtake them. Black Americans said they would risk their lives to go fight and defend Ethiopia. My thing is, what I'm gonna say is, if you're gonna answer, if you're gonna try to say something about me, bring the factual history, past, present history, and just prove your point. Bring statistics, prove your point. No other group in America deal with what we deal with. No people in the world deal with what even Africans deal with. People in the Caribbean deal with. Black folks, no matter where they at, as Marcus Garvey said, they are at the bottom. That's a fact. See, some of y'all want to hide from that. Some of y'all are embarrassed by that. Some of y'all are just trying to say, well, if I don't talk about it, I don't see it. I don't want to hear it. I'm not a victim and this and that. You always look silly when you talk like that. Face reality. That is the reality of your people. It's the reality of your people. You go to the African continent, that's the reality over there too. You're not leaving here and going somewhere else better. They dealing with the same issues and problems too. And sometimes even worse because their own people is selling them out. With the hand of the white supremacists, of course. Stop eating the biscuits and stop raccooning. That's all you're doing at that point. Black folks, that's why unity of black people is important, because we have some of the same issues and problems globally, so we should get together. But just being silly and saying that we aren't victimized by the system when statistics prove it, when even the mainstream media comes out and say they lost trillions of dollars for racist policies against black people, they admit it. So you know more than them? But I guess it's a victim mentality. Like I said, anytime that somebody say victim mentality to me, I turn them off. I say, okay, so I guess you trying to fight for a white audience, I guess. You sure ain't talking to a black one. It's not like black. You think black people want people to messing with us like that? Hell no. We would like to be left alone, like the Asian community is left alone. Trust me. All these little people want to run around here, copy black people. Listen, I'm willing to hand you the pain. You could have it. We would like to be left alone for the next 100, 200 years. Just leave us alone. Anyway, sorry I had to get into that tangent. Because, you got some slow people in the back. Some slow people in the back. They don't know what the hell they're talking about. They can't reference history. They can't reference anything. Even things in some of the African countries, they can't reference. And like I said before, I'm not personally upset, because I don't get upset with people like that. With the prime minister, I'm not really upset with him, but I'm like, oh no, I got to correct you. Like Juan even said, right? They don't even have no direct white supremacy. They have indirect. And indirect is worse, in my opinion. Like I told y'all in the stream, I'm willing to forgive black people because in what we do, police shoot us 17 times and our family members talking about, I forgive you. No. I ain't forgiving nothing when it comes to that. I can deal with some ignorance, but it needs to be challenged. Ignorance always needs to be challenged. So let's go to the next story here. Next and last story I want to cover here. This woman right here that you see on the screen. Oh, this woman. And let me get to where I want to get to with that. So that woman that you see on the screen, she's facing child endangerment charges after forcing her 14-year-old son to ride in the trunk of her car to get a test at a drive-through site. So Sarah Beam, 42 years old, from Cypress Fairbanks area near Houston, packed her teen in the trunk as she drove to the testing site at Ken Bridgerton Stadium after he tested positive for the virus on January 3rd to get another test. Now, Cypress Fairbanks ISD department issued a warrant for her arrest Friday. Now, police said Beam pulled to the giant tent set up at Falcon Road when Bevan Gordon, the health services director at the site, heard a noise in her trunk. So Beam, who worked in the Cy-Fair district as a teacher since 2011, yes, this female is a teacher, told Gordon that her son had tested positive for the virus and had to be quarantined, according to a court affidavit. I know I'm laughing. It's a messed up story. I know, but this chick put her kid in the trunk. What's wrong with y'all, man? Y'all Mzungus, man. Y'all be doing the most, man. Y'all be doing the most for real, for real. This chick was a teacher. So it says she talking about this teacher, Gordon, she placed him in the trunk in order to protect herself from the virus and wanted to get him an additional test, police said. Now, police did not say whether the mom or her son were jabbed. They say when she popped the trunk, Gordon found the boy laying down inside the vehicle and told Beam she could not receive a test until the boy was seated safely in the back seat. So it says surveillance footage obtained by the police reportedly showed the 14-year-old exiting the trunk and climbing into the back seat. The teen was not harmed during the incident. They say the Sci-Fair ISD, a spokeswoman, Leslie Francis, said in a statement, Beam recently worked as a teacher in the district, but is currently on administrative leave. They say Harris County currently has 100,000 virus cases with a 7-day average of 10,000. Texas has almost a 400% increase in cases in the last 2 weeks. In the county, which is Harris County, which encompasses Houston, currently has a 57% of its citizens fully jabbed. So yeah, Sarah here, yeah, she put her kid in the trunk. She said, "You ain't about to infect me with this virus. Get in the trunk." I'm like, wow, these folks losing their mind. Yeah, you're right. That's a shame. I'm looking at that. It's saying these are the people that's teaching your children. Yes, these are the people that teaching your children, putting their children in the trunk. I knew I didn't heard it all. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, these people are losing their mind. And I keep telling you, don't follow these people. Don't follow what they do. You know, I know some people could be well-meaning, but let me tell you something. I know some people who are hardcore alternative, other things that they're doing. And some people still got the virus. I'm just letting you know. Some people still got it. So I'm just saying, just wear your stuff, you know. Me personally, I don't like going a whole lot of places where it's just too crowded of a people. I'd go if I have a mask on, but I just don't feel comfortable like without a mask unless everybody been tested. If everybody been tested, I'm good. There you go, Patricia. Patricia says, wear your mask, wash your clothes, clean your walls, hands, wipe down everything. See, what happened to that? Y'all remember at the beginning, they was telling them that, wash your hands, sanitize, social distance, wear your mask. You remember that in the beginning? And all of a sudden they stopped saying about washing your hands, sanitizing, and social distancing. You remember that? Why they stop saying that all of a sudden? I guess what, that one group of people didn't like clean soap and water? Are they allergic to it or something? I still never forget that story. When my wife told me that one of them Karens went use the restroom, got up and was just going to walk out of there, and my 7-year-old said, "Oh, Mama, she didn't wash her hands." They will go to the bathroom, do number 2 and everything else, and don't want to clean their hands. No. This is why that stuff's spreading around. I'm telling you, this is why it's spreading around. People going out there, they got it, and people's filth. But what I'm trying to tell black folks is stop following their lead. Because you know what? This is my warning to you. Whatever's happening with them, it's going to fall upon you too. Why? Because you're following them. Now, what's falling upon them it's not meant for you. But if you're going to follow them, you're going to get that. That is a promise. I'm not talking about a virus. I'm talking about whatever is coming down the pipe. You keep following them. You keep taking on their ways. You keep doing it. I mean, I thought we were smarter than that by now. Talk to your doctors. Talk to your healthcare professionals about things like this. Don't be consulting everybody online about it. Because a lot of people online don't have medical degrees. I won't let nobody come on here saying things that's no. For two reasons why I'm not going to let it happen. One, I don't want any of my listeners to follow something somebody said it didn't have any kind of, degree in that field, and then something happened to them, and then now their family will be looking at over here saying, well, you the one had the people on your show saying this and that and the third, and now we want to sue you because they kept listening to your program. There's a lot I have stopped from coming across this platform. A lot. Y'all just don't know. And I say, nope, you ain't doing it here. You can go do it on your stuff, but you ain't doing it here. And this has nothing to do with YouTube. And then YouTube got their rules, of course, because YouTube scrutinized our page more because of the size of it. I'm just being honest with you. It's a lot I can't say on here or let people go too far on because of the size of the page. But I have to be responsible. Even when I do any kind of video, I want to make sure we look at dotting our I's and crossing our T's. We don't want to put out any kind of wrong information because we respect our audience and anybody that's coming to listen. You're right. That's why you don't listen to Bill Gates. He doesn't have a degree. Why? I don't listen to him. He's not no doctor. Now, if he talks about computers, I'm all ears. Any kind of tech, I'm all ears. I will listen to him all day long about tech. But I'm not listening to him. Like, I don't know even why they entertain him. Like he's I never understand that. Like, just because he give y'all some money, mainstream media, doesn't mean you put him on there. I mean, Bill Gates can go around talking about, I'll give y'all $1 million tomorrow. I just want to support. Okay, cool. Can I come on there and talk about it? I say, you could talk about it, but you're not going to talk about it in a way like an expert because you're not an expert. What, are you going to come up with some new tech to help us, detect it a lot faster? Or what are you talking about here today? I mean, it has to be some tech, right? You the tech guy. He said he can't keep his computer from getting infected. That's funny. Yeah, maybe he need to worry about that. But he's not really over Microsoft like that anymore. I mean, he kind of done his time and kind of moved on, so. Well, I'm going to tell you why he can't be trusted. You talking about Fauci. The reason why people not trusting him is because the messaging. He was the main one said that, well, if we get the jab, then we can go back to normal. And that didn't happen. What he should have said in the beginning was, listen, we really don't know what we're fighting. This is something new. And we're going to throw everything at this thing and the kitchen sink. It said, so some things may change. It said, but we're going to try to work hard and develop this jab just so we can give people some sort of protection, but it's not a complete blanketed protection, right? Because I remember covering the stories where, people, when this thing first hit, people were going. Like this. I remember that. Versus now, it ain't like that. It's not like even the Delta variant wasn't as like that when it first hit. Just be honest with you. Yeah, it was bad the first time. That first wave, yeah, it wasn't good at all. And a lot of people passed away. A lot. And when I was hearing stories about, a person saying like they can't breathe and help them and they can't do nothing about it, and them, coding, they said so many people was in the hospital that when someone coded, basically died, they was actually relieved because they had, bed space. Because before they didn't have no bed space for a lot of people. That's how bad it was. If you remember, they had refrigerated trucks for people. That's how much they were passing away with that thing. You remember the video, nurses crying because they watched so many people pass away. So it has been some progress with it, not like it should have been, but I think it would have been over with a lot. Because think about it. South Africa. You remember this new variant that started over there where their numbers already dropped and it's been like for them, mild. But you say, see, it was mild in South Africa. The difference between you and South Africans. South Africans don't eat the food you eat. South Africans walk more. South Africans are outside a lot more, getting the sun. Like, there's a whole lot of things that South Africans are doing that we don't do here in America. The main thing is the pre-existing conditions that a lot of people have over here. And once again, it goes back to what I said in the beginning. We should be just as keep the same energy with that food that these people are serving us. It's not right that you have to go to another country and you eat and you just start losing weight and not even try. You don't even try. Every time you go to the African continent, you just start losing weight. And you could sit there and freaking eat all day and you still will lose weight. Even when I went to Turkey, me and my wife was enjoying that Turkish ice cream. With Turkey got some great ice cream, and we didn't gain a pound in Turkey. Not a pound. Now in America, we would have been eating that ice cream like that. I would have gained about 10 pounds. The Sprite they have over there don't have all the sugar. Like, we have so much. Like, do you realize how much sugar that we eat in this country? Like, if you look on a can of soda or some sort of food, for every 4 grams on that sugar counter that's on the nutrition facts is a teaspoon of sugar. Every 4 grams. Some people are drinking these fruit juices every day. That's like 25 and 30 grams, sometimes 40 grams of sugar. Some people drinking the Cokes that's like 65 grams of sugar. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all drinking 8 to 12 teaspoons of sugar a serving and wonder why we got diabetes in the black community. Now, that same FDA should be saying, don't be putting all that sugar in there. Now, I saw this one doctor I was watching, and he was saying that you should only have 2 grams of sugar per serving. At most, 5 grams of sugar per serving. Per serving. And we're sitting up there drinking things that have so much sugar in it and wonder why we dealing with the diabetes. I mean, we just cut the sugar out. We'll start, trimming down. Look, high fructose corn syrup came into play in the 1970s. Prior to that, they used cane sugar. When they were using cane sugar, the Americans weren't dealing with the obesity. When they brought in high fructose corn syrup, which is a cheaper way made with corn, obesity in America increased, they said, to 326% since the 1970s when they introduced high fructose corn syrup. When they were using cane sugar, basically the sugar that God has, come out the ground, cane sugar, right? We didn't have those issues and problems with our health in America. That's what made this virus so dangerous, because people got asthma, people got high blood pressure, people got different heart disease. So, yeah, some people say, well, it has a certain type of survival rate. Maybe it do. But when you have those conditions, and some of our people swallowing medication every day, that's what makes it more dangerous, because of those conditions that you have. So when you already have conditions, you already have something going on, then you pile this freaking virus on top of it. That's what's been taking people out of the paint, to be honest with you. This nation is a sick nation. And in our community, high blood pressure, diabetes, all that sort of thing. Do you know, like in places like Mississippi, Alabama, places like that, we talking about the black community, how the virus, when it was getting our people, taking them out. Why? How do they eat over there? You got high blood pressure, but you're still shaking the salt like Hercules and Nutty Professor. You're still eating that fat back and hog maw and all the other things that you're eating. And then when that virus gets you, You know, you can't really breathe the right way, and then you get hit with the Delta variant, you out of there. That's beyond what that's what's happening a lot to black people. Living in America harms us more than just psychologically, the racism. It harms us economically. It harms us in our health. We deal with extra stress that we wouldn't deal with in this country. And then you pack that on top of this virus. That is a serious thing. And I want to be responsible with my platform to just put that in your mind to think a little bit. Because there's a lot of people, there's a lot of voices going to tell you all kind of things about that. But let's talk reality. Let's talk, listen, there's a real world out here you got to live. Some things sound real good online. You're right. So you say soul food. You see soul food, yes. The way it's prepared, but you could actually have soul food and prepare it in a healthy way. Understand what I'm saying? Like, for instance, instead of eating white rice, eat you some cauliflower rice. There's nothing wrong with eating, chicken or something like that. Like, this, it's just the way you prepare it. Now, I'm not a fan of pork. I don't eat pork. Not at all. But there's nothing wrong with mustard greens. It's just the way you prepare it. That's all. You're talking about the candied yams thing, but a lot of times they put too much sugar in that. So yes, sweet potato do come from the ground, but you ruin it with all the sugar and butter you put in it. There's a lot of sugar go into that. And then we really shouldn't even be eating potatoes anyway in our diet. We should not be eating potatoes. That should be very rare that we eat any kind of potato. Because potatoes is a lot of starch. Starch is converted to sugar. So if you're a person that's diabetic, you shouldn't be touching nothing with a carb. White bread is horrible. Brother Nathaniel told y'all that. White bread, anything white is horrible. Go figure. Everything brown is good. Go figure on that too. Listen, the earth has to have some sort of melanin to it. White sugar is processed. Yes, I know brown sugar, they can add some molasses to that, but that's not, if you get some organic, it's not going to be, or if you get some organic cane sugar isn't white. It's a light brown. And just use minimal. So if anything with the sugar, follow that metric I just gave y'all. Look on the back of your packages and see how many grams of sugar does it has. And also the salt. We need to get rid of salt as black people. Because if you get this virus, I'm talking about the high blood pressure thing. It can jack your blood pressure up and cause a stroke or something like that. You don't need to be putting salt in your food. You can actually use spices in your food. That's what I do. I tell people, do not put salt in my food. I like spice because you can have the right spices and it tastes like you have salt. We do not need the food with salt as black people because all you're going to do is just mess yourself off. Use spices. Some person down there say a rainbow diet, if we can cut out bread, like say breads, rice, potatoes, things like that is good for us. Like me, I changed my diet and I just started dropping pounds and not even trying by changing my diet. And I'm happy about that. Removing the breads, removing the rice, removing the potatoes, right? Not eating the sweets and things like that and making sure, having a new love for fruit when I want something sweet. There's so many different fruits out there that you don't even realize that's out there. You know what I'm saying? There's so many good fruits that you can eat that's sweet, that get the sweet you want, right? And you could still do your thing, and you won't feel guilty about it. Because at least if they do have, yes, fruit does have a certain amount of carbs, but it's carbs your body processes. That carbs that come from that processed food, it does horrible things against your body. So yeah, replace it with fruits, yogurts, things like that. That way, if something do happen and you do get the virus, at least you have a fighting chance. Versus if you're eating fat back all day, you're pumping your body 5,000 milligrams of salt. Some of y'all eat these bags of potato chips full of salt. Salt, you follow it with some cookies. Some of you follow it with some freaking soda. Soft drink, whatever you want to call it. I had a partner. We told him, hey, man, stop drinking them 2-liter Big Reds, man. And he kept drinking and drinking and drinking. Them things were $1. 2-liter Big Reds. And what happened to him? He didn't listen. He got type 2 diabetes. And he came to us and said, y'all told me to stop, and I didn't. And I say, why? He was sitting there looking depressed. I say, what's going on? He said, y'all told me to stop, and I did. I said, what you mean? He said, yeah. He said, all that, them Big Reds I was drinking all that time. I said, yeah. He said, yeah, he diagnosed me with type 2 diabetes. I said, oh, man, like that. And I'm like, man, that's what he was trying to tell you, bro. Like, you can't be drinking them Big Reds like that, brother. That stuff is guaranteed to make you sick. Like we can't, we need to be drinking waters. If I drink tea, it's a tea I've actually gotten from Turkey, and I love that tea. And even the people that I've given it to, they love the tea. So if it's not tea or if I drink coffee, it's decaf. I don't drink caffeinated coffee because caffeine is hard on your kidneys. So you shouldn't be drinking caffeine like that. I don't have no kidney issues, thank God, but I'm not trying to create them. So drinking decaf. I'm just saying, get in there. Of course, take your vitamins. Every Monday I have a regimen. I take 2,000 milligrams of vitamin C with rose hips. I take 10,000 units of vitamin D3. I take 10,000 units of vitamin A. I take 100 milligrams of zinc. I take my elderberry syrup as well. I do all of that every Monday. And now I've incorporated every Monday I fast. So every Monday I'm fasting. 24 hours, a water fast. And it's definitely working out great. I'm doing that. Why? Because I have to be more serious, as well, because I got to make sure to protect myself. It's much easier when you're traveling and moving around and going different places throughout the world when you're agile and you feel good and great and healthy. I've been doing that regimen, not the fasting, but the one I told you to do every Monday with all the vitamins. I've been doing that ever since COVID. The reason why I started that, because one time Dr. Fauci got on TV and he said 80% of the people that had the virus were vitamin D3 deficient. I said, oh, really? I said, I said, well, let me start researching this so I can at least cut my chances down at least to 20. And I've been doing that the whole time. And I said, I'm doing this the rest of my life. Because even when I have gotten like a little cold, I've even learned how to take the vitamins. Of course, like with some medicine, of course. I'm not saying I don't believe in medication. But I would take the vitamins and boom, I feel that boost when I take the vitamins again. I'll take like a reduced version of it because I took the big one on that Monday. And I'll just take it like each day, take the vitamins along with the medication. Go. Something that probably would have lasted me a week, maybe a day or two by taking those vitamins. I remember one time my sister, my daughter, she was sick. I told her, I said, hey, let me give you these vitamins to take. I gave her all the vitamins and everything. And shoot, coughing stopped, like elderberry, all that. I said, it helped you, huh? I said, yeah, I feel good. I said, yeah. I said, keep taking your medicine, but take them vitamins too. And she knocked it out. So I believe the Lord gave me that recipe. So I'll tell anybody that. And it's something that you could buy yourself and something that you could practice yourself. So that's at least that's what I do. You say you turn the channel when you hear homeboy and say, yeah. And salads are good. Salads are good. Yes, they are real good. You know, get you a good salad. You know, don't be putting all that pasta in it. Don't be doing that. You know, bacon and all that. You know, keep it in some good, you know, vegetables. You know what I'm saying? Make it a vegetable salad, much as possible. Ranch. I was doing some research on ranch. We should not be eating no ranch. Ranch is the most horrible thing to eat. You know, if anything, you can eat you a vinaigrette. I found on this one place called Thrive Kitchen because, you know, I'm doing a low carb thing. So they had one that had low carb, like 2 grams of carbs. So like a cilantro lime dressing for the salad. So that's what I do. I order that one and I put that on there because it's not, you know, sugar or nothing in it. It's just a dressing. But some people like the balsamic vinaigrette, you know, the different vinaigrettes or whatever. But yeah, ranch is one. Oh, I was reading the ingredients in ranch. Nah, we don't need to be eating ranch. Oh, you used to make your own ranch? Okay. Yeah, but melatonin puts you to sleep, though. I'm not trying to go to sleep. I'm not trying to go to sleep. But like I said, now when I'm in the African continent, I don't need no D3 because that sun hits different in the African continent. I don't know what it is, but it's like every time I get there, I get a darker like that. Like I said, I don't know what it is, but a lot the African continent in a lot of places is close to the equator too. But still, yeah, it's some good sun over there. That's the sun you want to go soak up in, you know. And I don't know how many of y'all is going to the trip. You know, I don't know. But if you are, you know, it'd be good. You know, I think it would be good to go to South Africa and just have that time. You know, I think, you know, I can't wait. I cannot wait to go to South Africa. I can't wait. I ain't been to the continent since 2019 when this freaking, you know, then I think that virus came in 2020 and, you know, because I had 2 trips planned that year to go to South Africa and back to Kenya. So I got to get back to Kenya too. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You say olive oil. One doctor was talking to, he was saying use instead of oils, use but real, you know, organic but real butter a little bit to, you know, to cook with instead of using the oils. So he said all the oils, no matter what, are processed. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. So yeah. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me tonight. If anybody got anything else, I'm gonna get my happy self off of here. Let me check here real quick before I get off. Let's see here. Okay. Well, make sure, ladies and gentlemen, that you donate to the fundraiser. The link is actually in the pinned comment up there. Like I said, we greatly appreciate everybody that has donated. And once again, thank you for listening, everyone. Thank you, you know, for your subscriptions. Thank you for your time. It's like, you know, a good amount of y'all in here tonight. You know, definitely a good amount of y'all. Appreciate y'all jumping on with us early Sunday morning, right?